cool button.
This meeting is being recorded.
This meeting is being recorded. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone again. Hare Krishna. We are reading Sankalpa-Kaumudi. And we're on. I think I might, but oh no, Chandravali's with us. So two of us have this book. We're on page 574. And chapter 29, 24, let's go back, which is called The Four Stages of Remembrance.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought it was 5 stages. Anyway, the chapter's called 4 Stages of Remembrance. And just as a recap, as we've been doing at each of these classes or readings on this chapter, half of the presentation of Sankalpa-Kaumudi is speaking about specific stages of development in our Krishna consciousness. And they are known as, some of you might remember something about these stages. One is Shravanadas, Varanadas, Smaranadas, Bhavapanadas, Prema Sampatidas. Okay, so, and we're discussing now Smarandas. Okay, and Smarandas in of itself is further divided into 5 divisions. Yeah, so this is in context with remembering Krishna, yeah? Especially during bhajan, during kirtan, during chanting. Yeah, so how deep can we go in our chanting? Yeah, so it's called, these 5 stages called Smaran, Dharana, Dhyana, Anusmriti, and Samadhi. Okay. Each
Hare
time.
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I just wanted to ask you one thing, Prabhu. You said
Please.
Smarana, especially during the bhajan. So if you remember Krishna every moment, that is not Smaran then?
That's yeah, that's a very deep achievement. You could say that's Samadhi. Yeah, it means to remember Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samadhi must be very high.
Yes,
but
as we
still.
will read. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what we've been discussing, and we're discussing dhyana at the present moment. Okay. So I guess unless there's only anyone else has a book there. Mother Chandravali, you like to begin?
Yeah, I was going to ask you
Or
something.
any further clarifications? Yes, please.
Today I was listening to a class about different classes of gopi in the Ras dance.
Whoa.
And then different levels of gopis in the Ras dance. It was a good class actually. It's a good class. I need to listen to it properly again. Then the Prabhu said that there were some gopis who were on the Bhava platform, not on a Prema platform. And they were there. So I was like a bit confused with that.
The context I don't know exactly, but I should.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's Bhoma Vrindavan. You know, Krishna manifests his pastimes.
Because he's a couple of others. Yes. Okay.
Within the earthly realm, which he manifests his pastimes in. He had his Ras pastimes here and Bhoma Vrindavan. So I might guess, without hearing the context of it, that it's referring to the pastimes, to the rasa that took place within Bhoma, where those who have achieved the highest perfections of bhava, they get to associate with those Nitya Siddhas and further.
Yeah, they associate with them.
Yeah.
Yes, he did say that. Okay, yes. That's why when he said that when we, you don't come down from Vaikuntha here. Is that right? Anyway, I need to.
That's that's a big subject.
Yes, I was really
not the leaf falls from Vaikuntha. Prabhupada said that. Also, Prabhupada spoke quite often the phrase of going back home, back to Godhead, which would indicate we was there. In Prabhupada, if you study Prabhupada's purports and through a study of Prabhupada's books, you will find statements to support both. You'll find statements to support that we didn't come from Vaikuntha, and you'll find statements that seem to support that we came from there, and their quest is to go back.
To
So,
Vaikuntha.
yeah, no, well, you could say the spiritual world, if you want.
Okay, I was a bit confused. I want to, okay.
Vaikuntha is a term given to the spiritual realm as well, and within Vaikuntha there is different realms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's different realms in Vaikuntha. You have the Vaikuntha planets, where the Lord is worshipped in awe and reverence. But within the greater Vaikuntha, as far as I understand, there is also Goloka Vrindavan,
Yeah.
where Radha and Krishna are situated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. As much as I can say in that
Yeah, because you didn't hear. Yeah, I was a little bit confused with.
for
Okay.
now. Yeah. All right.
I might actually send you that class too.
Yeah, send it. Be
Like,
interesting to
clarify
hear.
my idea, my thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's dive in. There's
Reading
573, and consequently, at the stage of dhyana, you're reading this about halfway down.
Okay. Okay. Consequently, at the stage of dhyana, the devotee who is dedicated to quality Nambajan will see the holy name expand to Krishna's form, qualities, and pastimes. This development is systematic and follows a sequence which had its origin in the chanting of Krishna's names and which began at Shravandas. Nambhajan begins with offenseless chanting, Namabhas. Within Namabhas are different stages that correspond to the varying presence of bad habits and offenses. The less the obstacle, the more advanced the Namabhas. When a sadhaka is free of all obstacles, his chanting becomes pure, Suddha. This Suddhanam also has further subdivisions according to the degree of the sadhaka's purity. Even when the sadhaka chants with love, there will be further stages of development that corresponds to the maturing of bhav and the unfolding of prem, which manifests fully with the attainment of ras. The point has been made that the holy name of Krishna reveals itself in stages through the divisions of smarandas. As it does, Nambhajan successively reveals Krishna's attributes from form to qualities to pastimes. Additionally, the maturing of holy name increasingly manifests each consecutive attribute. In other words, as each feature of Krishna manifests, its presence grows from weak to strong with the progression of Smarana. We show how this takes place with the
Burgeoning, yeah.
burgeoning of one attribute, Krishna's form. As Smaran, the name begins to reveal its divine form, and as the cultivation of the name passes through stages of maturing, the form of Lord is also increasingly manifest. The initial appearance of Krishna's form is a partial presence within the mind, and its full-blown manifestation is his personal darshan at the perfection of Prem Sankirtan, Sampati Das. A further factor should be considered. In addition to the name, there is another impetus that causes the Lord's form to dawn. Just as the Lord's name progressively manifests itself by being heard, in a similar way, the form of Lord gradually manifests by being heard of. Jiva Goswami writes, you can read it.
Just read the translation, if it was.
Jiva Goswami writes, when the heart is purified by Nam Sankirtan, a devotee can hear about the Lord's form, and by so doing, the heart becomes fit for revelation of the same. That is to say, when a sadhaka regularly hears or reads glorification of Krishna's mind and chanting appearance, those descriptions impress themselves in his mind and increasingly come to life during Nam Bhajan. Hearing about the form of the Lord also includes seeing the deity in the temple. Moreover, the devotee's preferred relationship with Krishna is reflected on the specific form of which he hears, such as the son of Yashoda, the friend of Subal, the beloved of Radha, or other Vaikuntha forms. This follows the principle that the result of an activity matches the discipline a devotee has practiced. So a devotee will hear about the form of the Lord which he aspires to worship. This preference of a sadhaka is beautifully described by the Creator in the following verse. O my Lord, your devotee can see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing, and thus their hearts become cleansed, and you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotee that you manifest yourself in a particular eternal form of transcendence, in which they always think of you.
Okay, perhaps let's pause there. It's quite condensed what Marge is describing here. If there's any questions or comments, try and give a summary. So it begins with this whole process begins with and doesn't start before one comes to the clearing stage. As we know, that's at Nam Bas. Yeah, we have Nama Parad, that's offensive chanting, then Nama Basa, that's the clearing stage. So this is going on even at the stage of Nama Bas, this becoming absorbed in a dhyana meditation, which means you're still clearing things from the heart. Yeah, Sudanam is the perfected stage, and Marge mentions that. And amazingly, he mentions, this described that Sudanam also has various stages. Like every stage has various stages. It's like every stage is a stage. So Krishna consciousness, we can understand here, it's a gradual development. Just as we age gradually. Has anyone noticed that?
No.
We don't age overnight. We age gradually, inch by inch. Yeah, you can day by day. So if a devotee is fixed in the sadhaka and they're avoiding offenses to devotees, etc., and they're chanting at least a Namabas, then their meditation is going to be growing. Yeah. Murli Manohar does enter the waiting room. Okay, I better let him in. Yeah, that might be a special guest we have coming. The head pujari of Shushi Radha Londonishwar. Hare Krishna Murli Manohar Das.
How come we got you coming in again
I think it must be Vamsivat.
using your whatever?
Anyway, if it is Vamsivat, please say Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Why is my name Murli Manohar Das?
Because I sent you my link.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Yeah. Welcome. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So it's
You can change your name if you go to the participants tab
yeah.
and choose your name,
Type in
and you can change it.
to Vamsivat.
Okay. Thank you, Mother.
So just like the sun rises in the morning, gradually, it's not like all of a sudden it appears. So gradually awakening, like a gradually dawning And Marge is given here specifically, then he's speaking specifically about Krishna's form and how it manifests to the devotee. Yeah. At Smarandas. Yes. Okay, any questions on that?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, please, Mother.
I don't know. Of course, we are reading this book for a long time, and this is the most my favorite book, I could say. But
Yeah.
now I'm thinking, Prabhu,
Mm.
knowing is good, but sometimes I don't know. I felt like this. Oh, this when you go deep and deep and deep, you are not going deep. Only you know its subject is deep, but you are still on the surface. So you tend to feel, oh my God, this is too much to go. What will we do? So sometimes it's good not to know how deep it is. Do you think it's right way?
Well, this is the idea of the Sankalpa-Kaumudi, and Maharaj is he's explaining the different determinations that should be there to achieve
Haribol?
Can you hear me?
And I didn't hear you, Babu. Okay.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, Babu. Yes.
Yeah. So Maharaj is describing actually the different stages because, for example, when we hear about these different stages, we can ascertain where we are or where we are not. And especially when we hear the wonders of the stages of chanting at dhyana, which reveals Krishna's form and then qualities and pastimes, that should impart within us a particular determination or at least a desire. Now, it's true that we may not catch and we may not be able to remember all the different details and all the different stages. That might be asking too much, but at least if we can come away from the reading with a heartfelt desire to go deeper in our chanting and understand that it is a progressive
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Babu.
process.
Okay.
And it's not just like we're chanting Hare Krishna and we've got no and we're not in knowledge of the different stages of chanting and we don't have any particular direction. We don't have any particular goal that we're aiming for. So that's what this whole presentation is about, that we learn the different stages, we become attracted to those different stages, and therefore we set it as a sankalpa to actually achieve. And also, Marge mentioned a point here, which also he mentioned the importance of, let me find it again. Perhaps I won't find it yet. I just have to paraphrase it. Marge, mentions that those pastimes that we hear about, those pastimes that we read about, then they come alive within Nam Bhajan. This is the idea. That those pastimes that we hear about and remember, when we're chanting, when we're chanting the holy name at these stages, then these pastimes become, what is it meant? He mentions it becomes alive, I think he mentioned. Can't find it now, we just read. Yeah, he says here, that is to say, when a sadhaka regularly hears or reads glorification of Krishna's mind, it's a different subject now to your question, Mother, but glorification of Krishna's mind in chanting appearance, those descriptions impress themselves in his mind and increasingly come to life during Nam Bhajan. Hearing about the form of the Lord also includes seeing, he mentions as a side, hearing the form of the Lord also includes seeing the deity in the temple. And then each devotee will have their specific meditation, which they have an attraction for, specific form of Krishna. And then Maharaj quotes a verse saying, according to that meditation, then Krishna will reveal himself. Okay, so, but very good question, Nimai Mata. Is sometimes we can read, sometimes it does get a bit exhausting. It can be. I don't know if that's the right word. Not the physically exhausting, not physically exhausting. Sometimes I do that. I'm doing different studies and analyzing and try to understand, and then I just think, okay, put all the books away and just read some pastimes. So we need both, sometimes, we need both. Okay, any other comments or questions on that? Vamsi Rapru, if you have the book, we're on page 575. Yeah. Okay, I'll have a...
We know that Krishna is unlimited. So even to even think about trying to get to understand something, it's pointless. We just have to accept that with our tiny mind, we're not going to be able to understand and accept how much we understand and desire to be able to get better.
Yeah, but we should try to understand. I think in one place Maharaj speaks that we shouldn't be lazy.
No.
We shouldn't be lazy in regards to tattva. But we should try and understand according to our ability. Like the other day because I gave class and I was given on this subject of different, for example, the different nuances and the different subtle differences in the different Vaishnava philosophies from the 4 sampradayas, And I must have read it about 10 times, a couple of Jiva Goswami, and I just realized that I can't understand it. I cannot penetrate. I cannot grasp it with my meager intelligence, But at least I tried to, I tried my best. So we should approach it in a humble mood. We should try our best. But the main thing that, because myself, I'm not particularly scholarly, but what I read from this is I get inspired to enter different stages of chanting. Yeah, like that. All right, let's read on a bit. So I'll read from the top here. The natural advent of the Lord's form will vary from devotee to devotee. So if our Ishtadev we're all devotees of Radha Londoneshwara, I think, most of us here. Hare Krishna. So that's the form. If Krishna is going to reveal himself to us, if the Lord is the Lord on our worshipful deity, that's the form that he's going to manifest to us. That's the form that's going to become emanated and going to, dare I say, speak to us or make his presence known to us. It's that form. Yeah. Or for you, for others, it might be your deity at home. Yeah. So the natural event of the Lord's form will vary from devotee to devotee. Spontaneous practitioners will generally partake of an earlier and more distinct encounter than their regulated counterparts. Okay, you understand that? I'll just explain that a bit. Through the strict following of the regulative principles given to us by Rupa Goswami, following in the line of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when the devotees are blessed with bhava by strictly following the instructions of the spiritual master, then they will be spontaneously attracted to Vrindavan and Krishna, name, form, qualities. Now, the spontaneous practitioners, before they reach bhava, they will engage in smaran of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes before they get to bhava. You follow that? So that's what Maharaj is. So spontaneous practitioners. So this is, you heard the phrase which is Raganuga sadhana. Sometimes these two words, the devotees get confused because they sound like two different things. Raganuga sadhana. So there's a sadhana which is composed of meditating upon Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So that's, and you're one's practicing to become absorbed in those pastimes, and one becomes inspired by the relationships that Krishna has with his devotees. But they're not at the stage of bhava. They may be at the stage of nishta. Or Maharaj even says that they may be at the stage before nishta. So like from a previous life, they're just naturally attracted to Krishna book and Krishna's pastimes. So anyway, yeah. So as both these kinds of practitioners advance in chanting, so does the constancy and intensity of Krishna's presence. And at a certain stage, these two attributes, the name and form, become inseparable. This means whenever one is present, the other is there. So that's nice. Yeah. So there is no, at this stage of chanting, yeah, to chant means to meditate upon Radha Krishna, their form. Never is there just a name. It's not just a sound. It's Radha Krishna is manifest within that sound. You follow? Because you can just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and you just, in one sense, it's non-different, but it's manifesting just as the Naam. But as Maharaj, at a certain stage, these two, the attributes, the name and form, become inseparable. When the devotee is chanting Hare Krishna, he's actually within this sky of his heart and mind. He is having darshan of perhaps of Radha and Krishna.
So so what you mean
Yeah.
is like when you're chanting, then you're chanting, hearing the name, but you can also see the form, like say Radharani, you can see the form.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, or you're seeing a form, or you're seeing a form that you've read about that's been described in Sastra. So that's what so it becomes inseparable.
Also, if you can, what you said was like even pastimes or glimpses.
Yeah,
of,
well, Marge is speaking about the form here. He's not speaking about the Leela as yet. Let's see. Obviously, that
No,
would,
Prabhu,
Yeah,
is it
anytime,
kind like you can admire? You can, can I use that word? Is it what you're saying, Prabhu? Rupa means like
yeah, for
like
sure.
something admire. Like you can, it's more than seeing. Is it like admiring?
Yeah, there's some appreciation.
Hmm.
This is like, you can understand, this is like at this stage, Marge is speaking out of dhyana, and it's a level of meditation.
Hmm.
It's the level of accomplishment in your bhajan, where you not only you holding the form of the name, but the form is also manifesting within your japa. Excuse me.
Okay.
Krishna. Yeah. So thereafter, meditation further cultivates the development of both the name and form until the heart becomes so saturated with their presence that what comes next? It brings forth their qualities. Yeah. It brings forth their qualities. So when devotees see Krishna, they don't just see Krishna, they appreciate his wonderful qualities. Yeah. And they're not just, along with, just like I guess you can give a kind of example. When we personally meet devotees, they come along with their qualities, isn't it? They're not just they're not just a name or cut out piece of. When you meet someone, they've got qualities which come along. So same with Krishna. But it looks like there's some, when the meditation at dhyana and the form is present, then as that gets deeper, when one's heart becomes saturated with their presence, so it brings forth their qualities. Okay. The effect of hearing about Krishna's pristine qualities is like that of hearing about his divine form. So the absolute, yeah. In that Krishna's qualities further blossom in the heart when they are heard of. The unfolding of Krishna's qualities follows in sequence the increased appearance of his name and form, and in the same way may be said of the unfolding of his pastimes. So to read that again, the unfolding of Krishna's qualities follows in sequence. Okay, the increased appearance of his name and form. Then next is the qualities begin to make themselves, or you could say the devotee becomes attracted more to the qualities of Krishna, say, or Radha and Krishna. Yeah. So we can say now this is definitely entering the stage of ruchi, isn't it? It's becoming very tasty. Yeah, very exciting. Like your japas, it's a very tasty time. It should be. It shouldn't be just a chore. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. It should be like a time to put everything down and like really have a good time. Really let go of everything and take darshan of Krishna. Yeah, we should do that because actually, it's most of the time we're distracted in a day, isn't it? It's so easy to be distracted. Only the japa is the only time where we can get good quality meditation on Krishna, or if we're in a temple. Like today, I was had to go to the bank and this and that, and I had to get this and that, and I realized I completely forgot Krishna. I mean, that's life. Well, unfortunately. Anyway, what point was I making there? Yeah, so let's see our japa as being something, a very special time where we can have darshan of Krishna uninterrupted, at least for 2 hours. We can just be with Krishna. Yeah, because the rest of the day might not be like that. We have to hang out the washing. We have to go shopping. We have to look after the grandchildren. We have to pick up the car. Whatever it may be. Yeah. Since the name of Krishna appears first, it is more prominently manifest than his form, which in turn is more prominently manifest than the qualities, than those more than the pastimes. As meditation matures, these attributes gain strength and influence in the graded way already explained, and they will become equally prominent when love appears. So what's another word for love? Prema. Yeah, that's sampatidas. Yeah. The influence of prema is such that Krishna is no longer able to hide his opulences or sweetness from his devotee. Okay, so Krishna becomes so attracted to the devotee's devotion that he becomes controlled. What's the name of that stage, Vamsivat Prabhu, where Krishna becomes controlled by his devotees?
Krishna Karshini?
Yeah, Krishna Karshini. Yeah. So it's stage of prema. The reader will do well to note that this development of Krishna's form, qualities, and pastimes is wholly and solely dependent on chanting his holy name. Yeah, as I said last week, it's not like we sit there in silent meditation. No, it's all done through the chanting of the holy name. Nam Sankirtan is like a motor which reveals Krishna's other attributes. When Nam Sankirtan stops, these attributes again recede into their source, the holy names. As in all stages of smaran, meditation depends upon consistent progress in chanting. There is no other way. In this way, while describing dhyana smarana, we have shown how proficiency in Nam Bhajan reveals Krishna's attributes both sequentially and increasingly. Okay. So again, back to Nimai Mata's point that if we're, it's down to our proficiency. It's down to how proficient we are in our chanting. Yeah, and that proficiency, in one sense, it's down to that we're in knowledge of these different stages, and we're very proficient, and we're trying to be very, we're trying to, we're trying to enter these different stages. We're not just sitting back and hoping it's going to happen. We're actually trying to find it, and we're infused. All right. I'll read that. Vamsi, any questions, comments here? Vamsi, you can read from here. You have the book there, I think.
Yeah.
So Kumari has got her hand up as well, yeah?
Yes, sorry, also, yeah, Kumari Priya. Would you like to read? You had your hand, and then I'll call on Vamsi after.
Hare Krishna, yes, sure.
Yeah, I can read. Let's just check the time. Yeah, we've got time. Go ahead, Mab.
We had paused our deliberation on dhyana to elaborate on how Nam Sankirtana develops during meditation and also cultivates the appearance and presence of Krishna's other attributes, such as his form. Admission into progressive stages of Smarana Dasa are made possible solely by the grace of Holy Name. Having covered what topic, we now continue our deliberation on meditation. As dhyana matures, Krishna's presence becomes increasingly apparent in a sadhaka's external conduct. One way is what a pure devotee sees his worshipable deity in everyone and in everything. Krishna says, Yamam pashyati sarvam chamayi pashyati. A devotee sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further elaborates on this way of behavior of Ramananda Rai. The Mahabhagavata, the advanced devotee, certainly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he doesn't exactly see their forms. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees manifest the form of a Supreme Lord. Seeing Krishna's form everywhere means that the devotee is reminded of Krishna wherever he looks. Objects and people become a stimulus for a further awakening of thoughts of the Lord, and this enables meditation to continue even at times other than secluded bhajana. A devotee may see a cloud whose color reminds him of Krishna's bodily complexion, a river which reminds him of Yamuna, or a hill of Govardhan. Another way in which the appearance of Krishna within a heart is perceived externally is in devotees' features. Although Kardama Muni had performed severe austerities because of his Krishna consciousness, he appeared healthy and effulgent. In the same way, Krishna's presence radiates through a devotee's appearance and demeanor. The third way is how a devotee adopts the very qualities upon which he meditates. For example, as a devotee appreciates Krishna's habit of pleasing speech, he increasingly reflects what conduct by becoming more politely spoken. Even though his father persecuted him in so many ways, when addressing Hiranyakashipu, Prahlada Maharaj remained gracious, addressing him as a Suravarya, the very best of a dynasty of demons. And still another way in which a devotee displays the Lord's qualities is by perceiving them in the things around him. This is similar to seeing something what reminds the devotee of Krishna's form, but the devotee now sees his qualities. In the following verse, Krishna explains how this takes place. O son of Kunti, I'm the taste of a water, the light of a sun and a moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I'm a sound in ether, an ability in man. In ways like the spiritualization of a Vaishnava becomes increasingly apparent, indicated the maturing of Nama Bhajana and the depth of meditations. For advancing Vaishnava, meditation is not a part of his life, it's his life. and so the discerning observer will be able to appreciate a sadhaka's spiritual journey by noting how he walks, talks, and conducts himself. Krishna has explained those things to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Just as bell metal produces gold when treated with mercury in a fiery crucible, the combination of Krishna's name, form, and qualities brings into view the pastimes of the Lord. An appearance of pastimes includes the presence of Krishna's abode and transcendental associates. This is a mature way in which Krishna's pastimes makes their appearance during Nam Sankirtan. The touchstone of Krishna's holy name can manifest any and every pastime of the Lord, independent of any effort. Yet the science of Bhakti Yoga follows the imperishable laws which were laid down by Krishna himself. Those laws dictate that just as the devotee must have heard of Krishna's name, form, and qualities before accessing them through bhajana, in that very same way, a devotee must hear of Krishna's pastimes in order to meditate on them. Without belaboring a point emphasized several times in this book, the reader cannot underestimate the importance of hearing and reading Srila Prabhupada's books. How will a devotee remember pastimes if he has not heard them? The stage of meditation will generally feature remembrance of an individual pastime, which may be about how Krishna runs from his mother in protest to the threat of being tied down, or even a single frame of that pastime, such as his crying elephant tears. Or a devotee may remember a certain mantra, meditating on a scene it depicts, one aspect at a time. This is mantra dhyana upasana, or mantra maya upasana, a topic that has been discussed earlier. If a devotee doesn't have an affinity for Krishna's pastimes, Namabhajana will continue to have its purifying effort. And as days becomes richer, so too will the desire to hear of Krishna's sports. If, on another hand, a devotee is mature in spontaneous devotion, he will meditate on pastimes that correspond to the Vraja resident, whom he seeks to serve. Devotees are often asked, is it acceptable to make effort at meditating on individual or even sequential pastimes? This is similar to questions regarding meditating on Krishna's form or qualities. We answer, such efforts are acceptable provided that they don't interfere with hearing the holy name. Attentive Nama Sankirtana is not only the priority, but its nourishment for appearance and development of Krishna's form, qualities, and pastimes. There is little meaning to Nam Bhajana if a sadhaka's full attention is not on the Nama Mahamantra. Meditation on Krishna's pastimes should nurture hearing Krishna's names. Hearing the Mahamantra is so important that it supersedes even meditating on it. Jiva Goswami says that Nama Sankirtana is more effective than Nama Smarana. Meditation and pastime should result in bonding with earlier attainments of name, form, and qualities into unified whole. If, however, any question remains in the mind of the devotee, the full dependence on the holy names to manifest pastimes is the unerring path to Lila Smarana. While we have already made the upcoming point, because of its importance, we shall repeat it again, as it's never redundant. The senseless chanting of Krishna's names spontaneously manifests Krishna's forms, qualities, and pastimes within the sincere sadhaka's heart. This takes place without any effort on part of a practitioner to meditate on those attributes. By hearing and reading about Krishna's qualities, forms, and pastimes, a devotee will gain the favor of those attributes, which will inspire him to elicit a sequential appearance in his Nama Bhajana. However, if, for example, a devotee can meditate on Krishna's pastimes while remaining fully attentive to the sound vibration of the Mahamantra, when there is no harm in additional effort. If, however, by such effort hearing the holy names is compromised, then the practitioner should abandon his extra meditation and be confident that chanting will reveal everything in due course.
Okay, let's just pause there. I thought I'd let it go a couple of pages there. Any questions then or comments here? Please move.
Yeah, can I mention something?
Yes, please.
Like we were speaking about like remembering Krishna. So I was all day at work today, and then somehow or other I went to the office, and then devotee called me, video called, and she called me live from Mayapur, from
Okay.
temple. And it was
All right.
so beautiful. She was showing me the Lord Narasimhadev and
Wow.
Radha Krishna, and it was so nice because like sometimes we forget, but devotees remember us, and it's like such a nice feeling that Krishna also remembers us and gives his darshan. So I wanted to share that.
Yeah, thank you. That's nice. That's what we should do. You know, we should when we meet devotees, we should tell them of Krishna. That's the idea. And especially, yeah. So your friend shared some live from Mayapur live. Yeah, it's very nice. That's what devotee association means, you know, that we share Krishna with each other. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, all right. Any other questions or comments here? Yeah, I just it's quite a bit packed in there, as I said, Marge. It's quite a lot is condensed within here. Yeah, I think Marge just was speaking of this manner or the result of this deepening of meditation upon Krishna, especially at this stage of dhyana meditation, Krishna's name and form. And because we were speaking about our japa time being sacred, and then we often get distracted throughout the day. But Maharaj is bringing up a deeper point where we become so profoundly affected by our chanting and the depths of our chanting that our day becomes another aspect of our bhajan. You know, it's not as if we're becoming distracted by the things of the world, but the things of the world are reminding us of what we have been meditating upon. Yeah. And that you can see in the person of Prabhupada. His morning walks, everywhere he would just speak Krishna, everything and everyone, everywhere he went, just reminding him of Krishna. He'd go for a morning walk and it was just extension of his meditation on Krishna. You know, we might do our japa, we might, if we have a morning program at home, we go, and then the rest of the day we're kind of, you know, we feel like, you know, we may forget completely. Except we've got friends like Mother mentioned who reminds us. So just Marge is just highlighting the profound consequence of meditating upon Krishna. Then his qualities will manifest within the bhakta. As you mentioned, Prahlad Maharaj spoke very sweetly to his vicious and violent father. Why? Because of his meditation upon Krishna. Krishna speaks very sweetly. So his devotees speak very sweetly. So he said, what do you say? My dear father, oh, best of the demons. So oh, best of the demons. So that's his heart because he's associating with Krishna. So that's why we got this verse, Yashasti Bhaktiya Bhagavatiya Kinchana, that all the qualities of Krishna manifest in someone who's practicing purity, or all the qualities of the demigods, the good ones, that is, they manifest in the body of a devotee. So therefore, that's when you can ascertain advanced devotees not only by their bhajan, but by their interaction, by how they walk, by how they talk. I'm just thinking now, of Bhakti True Swami, for instance. Is so sweet. His dealings were so sweet with everyone, you know, so exemplary in his dealings. Why? Because of his profound Krishna consciousness, because he's associating with Krishna. So therefore, yeah. So devotees, they carry Krishna within the heart. So especially deeper meditation, then this is very much seen within the body of a devotee. Yeah. Any questions or comments here?
You're talking about Bhakti Chiramaj. He would tell you off for something, and then he'll come back afterwards to you and say sorry about it.
Yeah.
He's really, yes, that's how he was.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I said this, and it's really.
Yeah. So because very Krishna conscious.
Once he told Nishkant for not being in time in the class, but Nishkant didn't say anything. And then he came back and said to him, "I'm so sorry." And then he said, "I know you got 2 little children, so you were shaving, but you know, he would come back and tell you sorry, you know."
Yeah. So also Marge mentions here also about we may try, you may be meditating on Krishna's name and meditate his form, and he mentions different meditations that you may mantra or pasana meditation. So Marge is mentioning you can, let's see, how do you describe it? You can, but it should be done when one is, in other words, one should not mispronounce the Maha Mantra. If one is doing that, then it's not natural. Let's just read it again, because it's important, I think. The offenseless chanting of Krishna's name spontaneously manifests Krishna's form, qualities, and pastimes within the sincere sadhaka's heart. This takes place without any effort on the part of the practitioner to meditate on those attributes. So when it says it takes place without any effort, it doesn't mean devotee doesn't endeavor to bring Krishna's name, form, qualities to mind, but they will be able to do it easily and naturally, and they will remain focused on the Maha Mantra. You understand? So it's not as if we're just a blank slate, because the things we're reading, we bring them to mind, and if it naturally comes to mind quite easily while we're absorbed in the Maha Mantra, then that's okay. But if we're becoming distracted by that, then we're running too fast. We need to come back and hear the name. Yeah. So this takes place without any effort on the part of the practitioner to meditate on those on those attributes. It's natural. Yeah. By hearing and reading about Krishna's qualities, forms, and pastimes, the devotee will gain the favor of those attributes. So he says here, Maharaj, he says, which will inspire him to elicit, which means to bring the sequential appearance in his Nam Bhajan. So that clarifies. Is that clear for everyone? Is that clear? Making no effort means it, but Maharaj says, means you do it naturally. You absorb. You like to. It's a natural thing for you to do. It may not be a natural thing for others to do. Like we have this Korean boy with us, very nice devotee, very sweet, very young boy, and he asked a question, I think yesterday or the day before in class, about chanting. And should he meditate? He's heard that we should feel separation when we chant, and we should just meditate. So he's a bit confused what he should do while chanting. So for him, if you look at his chanting, I'm sure he's only just started chanting. I think we mentioned before, he's very, very distracted. So for him, he should just hear the name. Just hear the name. Anyway, let me finish this. However, if, for example, a devotee can meditate on Krishna's pastimes while remaining fully attentive to the sound vibration of the Maha Mantra, then there is no harm to the additional effort. If, however, by such effort, hearing the holy names is compromised, then a practitioner should abandon his extra meditation and be confident that chanting will reveal everything in due course. Okay. Any questions or comments on that?
I think we should do Nectar of Devotion again. Book is all about Nectar of Devotion, pastime, qualities of Krishna.
Yeah, again, again,
We missed
again.
that. Please, let's do that again.
Prabhu, this one is very difficult, Prabhu.
Which one?
This today's class is really difficult.
What's the
Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm tired also, maybe, but oh my Lord, that is a bit difficult.
yeah? But you understand-
Assimilation is going zigzag.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope perhaps others here have understood something. Yeah, basically we're speaking about the development of smaran, the development that takes place while we're chanting the holy name. Yeah. And the depths of meditation from Krishna's name, then flowers of form, then the qualities, as we mentioned, and those qualities manifest within the persona of a devotee. Yeah. And the world becomes a udipan, and it becomes the inspiration to remember Krishna. And yeah. Mhm.
I'm thinking like, okay, it sounds too much is you're supposed to be chanting, and in chanting, the form, pastimes, everything is kind of be revealed, right? And you think, oh, but like I'm just chanting, nothing's coming in my head. But I think in time, if we really chant properly,
Well,
then all these things will come.
it will come, but Marge is mentioning it won't come if we don't hear.
Yes, if you don't
If
hear.
we saturate ourselves with hearing Krishna's pastimes, the philosophy, the name, form, we become absorbed as much as we can. Then those are the things that's going to naturally come to mind as well, you know?
It doesn't mean that you think of these things when you're chanting, but 24 hours you should be hearing about Krishna's pastimes, forms, activities.
Yeah.
Then your mind is saturated and it will come in your chanting, because that's what you're doing. You're hearing all the time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that for most is a tall order. Like I've read one verse here from Rupa Goswami, and he says exactly that. Tam nama rupa charidadi su kirtanano smitjokramena asana manasena yoja tistam vajetat anuragi tunanugami kalam nayat akilam iti upadeshasaram. The essence of all advice that once you utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastimes, etc. And you take on the guidance, you know. So that may be a little bit easier if you're a Bhajananandi. You're going to be able to do that, but that is possible still for us as well. We're being encouraged to try and remember Krishna all day, 24 hours a day. We may not, as sadhakas, come up to that mark, but at least we should try. You know, I went off the slightly different direction to your point.
No, I was more thinking like even in the house, like just put the classes on. Even if you're doing whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. It will catch. The sound vibration will catch you. You know.
Yeah. If you're in the car or wherever you are, whenever the opportunity comes, good point. If you're doing the ironing, put on some Prabhupada lectures, you know, something like that, or have the bhajan going. I think most devotees here with us, I think they're doing these things, you know, try and saturate. But also, make sure we are specifically hearing about not just a philosophy, but we're hearing about Krishna, his form, his qualities, and his pastimes, because that's going to nourish our bhajan as we hopefully advance, you know. We have to both, we have the siddhanta, or we have the philosophy of Krishna, then we have also about Krishna himself. his qualities, etc. So it's good to be getting that in as well. All right. Sorry, Bamsi Bapu, we didn't call upon your reading, but please join us next week. Okay. Okay, so we're paused there for today, and hope it wasn't too confusing for everyone. We left my matter completely bewildered. But don't worry, Mother, you just chant Hare Krishna. Krishna instruction.
No, Prabhu, no, my question only, the same thing I was thinking. It's remembering Krishna all the time. It's much easier than these
Philosophy.
yeah. I don't know. This is me. What can I do?
Anyway, that's good. You just remember Krishna. It's no problem. Okay, we're paused there today, and Hare Krishna. And next week,
Thank you, Prabhu.
I have to generate a new link for this reading, so I'll send that out, and Mother Chandravali will send to everyone. Okay.
For Bhagavad Gita tomorrow.
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita is on tomorrow. Bhagavad Gita. So please join us for that. Yeah, great.
What do you mean by new link for Sankalpa-Kaumudi?
Well, because I set it for a certain amount of weeks, and today's the last week, so I'm going to have to generate a new one. So I'll send you that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Hari Hari, and I wish you a wonderful day for tomorrow. Hari Bo.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.